They are not ready for prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time. That's the name.
Prime time.
Prime time.
What time is it? Showtime prime time.
It's XL Prime Time, featuring Joe C.
I reduced my toilet paper down to 3 squares.
Matt Hayes.
Big asses and big thighs, yeah.
And Leon Searcy.
Bringing you love, peace, and soul.
How you like me now? How you like me now?
Love, peace, and soul. I will say those were the 3 words that we would say about us as the 3 of us were out watching the Jags first day of mandatory minicamp. Who was love, who was peace, and who was soul?
Leon's clearly the soul.
He is soul. There's no doubt about it. So between you and me, Matt, one of us is love, and the other one is peace, my brother.
I am a lover, so
Yeah, there you go.
You can be
there you go. All right, so we were out there, and it's not like we have report cards or anything like that right now, but I do have my big flip card, and there's 90 players that we will tear through, you figure, over the next 3 days, and then probably a little bit over the next 5 weeks when they're gone, just as far as what that depth chart is going to look like. And then once training camp starts, we're going to get a little bit more of what we're going to see. But this is all about learning a new offense, learning a new defense, getting as sharp as you possibly can, and competing. So let's start there, and we're going to kind of go through the units today. But Big, you were out there. By the way, you were the first out there. Okay, you were on. You were on Coughlin time.
I was early. I mean, I was like 10, 15 minutes early.
Yeah,
you know,
as it should be.
Yeah, they hadn't even come out the stretch. I said, I'm way too early. You know.
Who are the latest media members? Just generically. Not just today, but
Joe,
in general.
But he has an excuse.
Yeah, there was an accident.
Joe, I can believe it could be Joe.
Yeah, but he had an accident.
Let me put it to you this way, though. I was late because everything just got completely stalled at racetrack, and my Valancourt boys over there, I'm like, hey, Marcus, you think you could clear the traffic a little bit? Because they got a big project going on right there. But anyway, when I'm coming out or when I'm parking, I saw Tommy Mack. I wanted to run and catch him just so I could get in there before he did.
Yeah, I mean, but y'all came at the opportune time. I went there. The equipment people were out there. The assistants were just walking out there. The punters, the kickers were out there. I knew I was there too early if I was there with the punters and kickers. I mean, they haven't even warmed up. And I said, I am not coming this early again. I'm going to come around the time y'all come. Y'all come around about 9, 10-ish, 15-ish. That time. That's when everybody starts stretching and stuff like that.
And so, but you want to see the action today was Travis Hunter's defensive day.
It was. Today, all the attention was on Travis Hunter because, I mean, he had a tutorial by himself. I don't know who that was, the defensive coach, assistant, secondaries coach, or whatever. But clearly we knew at the beginning of practice that he was going to start his day on the defense side of the ball because he did all the defensive backs drills, the back pedal drills, the cover drills, the tackle drills, and all that kind of stuff. We got a little glimpse of him. And, what was it, red zone? 7-on-7 red zone. Well, it was team period red zone. He didn't go up against the ones. It was very interesting to me.
They did slide him off during that, and they had. Well, we don't even necessarily need to give away depth charts. But anyway, Tyson and Jarian was out there, and then Travis. And actually, Monteric Brown was out there.
Yeah, he was.
Monteric Brown was on with the ones.
He was on with the ones. Yeah.
So was Dewey.
Yeah. Dewey was too.
And they're flip flopping that stuff.
Yeah,
that's
they are on. Both sides of the ball. Both sides of the ball. They're flip flopping them. Well, clearly today, when they're watching both sides of the ball, the defense won. They were the more aggressive team, the more energetic team. Batting balls down, strips, interceptions, fumbles, all that kind of stuff. And the offense seemed to be a little bit back on their heels. And traditionally, I would say it kind of works out that way with the defense.
Right.
Counter is the aggressive early on in camp and stuff. Offense kind of gets their feet wet as it later on in camp. You get themselves together. But clearly, the defense was after it. They got after that offensive line and Trevor all day long.
Mm-hmm. And I'll just give you a few of these that jumped out at me when we're talking about the goal or red zone work. Jordan Lewis at the goal line with a nice pass defense, went down and made that stop on that throw because that could have basically Trevor's throwing it where it's going to be in the hands or an incomplete. So Lewis made a nice play on that. Then Brown on Brown.
Nice throw by Trevor, too, by the way.
It was. But it just, boom, he got in front of it. Then Brown on Brown crime. And that was Monteric. That was Buster busting up a play against Diami. And so I like it. I'm not going to fall in love with anybody in the offseason without pads on. But Monteric Brown has been one of those guys who just keeps finding opportunities to make plays. And so he busted up a score. Yeah, Johnny Munt. crossing in the background, or excuse me, in the back of the end zone. Another tight end, just kind of that drag route and in open, and Trevor was able to deliver that. That was all in red zone. You had some nice moments for the offense, but I agree, Matt, the defense by and large was winning those plays.
Yeah, and another thing too is some of those completions that Trevor hit would not have been completions; they would have been sacks, or they would have been throwaways because the pressure was ridiculous today. And I think that's kind of the big story that I got out of the first day of minicamp is the offensive line. You know, whether it's just one day and they're just not into it or they're not, you know, it's
oh no, they're into it.
It's where the defense is getting better, and then next day they'll get better. But they didn't look too good today. It was not a situation where you were like, all right, yeah, I feel comfortable with these five. I mean, I don't think there was any five out there where I would have said, okay, yeah, Trevor should be very comfortable with these guys. And again, there's no pads on.
Right.
And Leon can explain this. We were talking about this in the pre-show, and he was explaining it to me that it doesn't matter if there's no pads on. The fact that the offensive linemen weren't getting to their spot and were getting beat to their spot is a bad sign.
Yeah, it's a very bad sign. I mean, because when you don't have pads on, you know you can't be as physical. You want to be as sound fundamentally with your feet and your hands as possible. Because you're not trying to destroy anybody, but you're trying to get your body in place to where you can say, hey, I blocked this guy.
Right.
And there was a lot of overreaching. There was a lot of reaching, a lot of bad footwork, terrible technique fundamentals on both sides. I mean, on both tackles. I mean, the guards, I couldn't see the guards as well, but I was concentrating on the outside guys. I got beat inside so many times. I mean, it was like a steel drum. I couldn't. I mean,
it took you back to Jamaica.
Yes, it did. Absolutely, it took me back to Jamaica. Absolutely. I mean, I'm talking about. I mean, especially was it Fred Johnson, the guy that we thought initially was going to get Walker a little. He had a bad day. Let me just say that he had a bad day, and
he's not the only one.
No, he's not the only one for sure. But he stood out because we essentially thought that this guy could give Walker a little run at left tackle. And it's just one day.
Sure.
I mean, it's just one day, but it was noticeable that Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker were a tandem on our offensive line.
Yeah.
So then my response to Leon was, is it possible that Trayvon Walker and Josh Hines Allen have turned up the wick, and maybe that's why the offensive line looks so bad?
It'd be good because they're lighter, they're ready. The defense is maybe better.
Well, here's the most interesting thing. As an offensive lineman, as an offensive tackle, when those guys turn up the switch, you're supposed to turn up the switch.
Yeah.
If they're going full throttle, you're going full throttle. And if you have to put hands on them, you put hands on them.
Yes. Like one example, and you can talk about Fred Johnson and say, hey, he looked like he was outmatched, and he did not have a great day like you're describing. Odega's another guy that's competing for playing time, and 44 whooped 55, and so the quicks that you see from Trayvon and maybe a lighter Josh Hines Allen is what you want on that side of the ball. But then on the other side, if those guys, and again, that was a backup against a star in Trayvon. And so those are the matchups you want to see because you want to find out what everything looks like. How good are your top rush ends and how good is your depth on that line?
Well, my concern is that you're not in pads right now. So when you get in pads, more than likely, you're going to get run over.
That's
you're going to get run over. I'm just telling you because when those guys were coming inside beating those guys, they let up. They let up. So
they absolutely let up.
They let up. So I'm saying, when you put the pads on and a guy's coming full speed inside like that with a one-arm bar and you can't handle it, you're going to the ground. So get ready for it.
Yeah, exactly. And you got to figure out how to protect your space. And I talked with Patrick McCary, so we'll hear that conversation come up in just a little bit. But he is one of the guys that is tasked with coming in and being a better offensive lineman, particularly at that right guard spot. Brandon Sheriff, a highly decorated player when he came here, paid very well to come here.
Andrew Norwell, same
thing. I'd say even worse, actually, because did you not learn the lessons of the previous one?
Apparently not.
Anyway, Sheriff heavily compensated, and it just did not pan out well enough. And he just was not the same player, basically. And so McCary's asked to come in. Robert Hainsey's asked to come in and improve that offensive line from the center out. And then you still have Ezra at that left guard spot. We don't know what's going to happen truly until the pads go on with any of these position battles along that line.
I got my Wyatt. I mean, he was running with the threes. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's
early. It's early.
Right.
You know,
Wide mile him.
Wide mile him. Yeah, he was running with the threes.
Get the pads on. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. Because, I mean, honestly, so far in the OTAs, and again, there's no pads, so it's difficult to make these blanket statements, but there's no doubt what the biggest weakness is. There's a giant blind spot in this team. It's the offensive line. There's no doubt.
Well, the two things, and again, this is a regime change, and so there's a lot of things that you can't necessarily expect that everything's going to be fixed.
Of course.
Like that.
Of course.
But the lines of scrimmage are as important as anything when it comes to making sure that whatever you're building is going to last, that if you spend money on the Brian Thomas Jr.'s and the Travis Hunters of the world in the first round, that you have people that can block up front to have time to throw the football to those two cats. That basically is it. And then on the other side, Emmanuel Ogbah is a guy that I think can be a nice role player as a rush in first off the bench. But they got to figure out how to get pressure. Eric Armstead is working inside. We're seeing DeJuan Smoot back. We're seeing Mason Smith, and Tyler Lacey's been more looked at inside. So we'll see where all these guys go. But this is our first opportunity to kind of see them all working together, pressure, move fast, and see how they react to it. So both of you guys are saying the weakest unit still.
Oh, yeah.
Is the
I think
offensive
far and away.
Oh, yeah, easily. Yeah. And we haven't even gotten pads yet.
Right. I can't say it.
Joe, I mean, what Leon said was really damning when you think about it. They were letting up.
Yeah.
Josh Hines Allen and Trayvon Walker were letting up.
Well, they had to. Yeah.
They'd get by him and then stop.
Right. They had to.
Yeah.
Because they were at Trevor's doorstep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's kind of that kind of makes you think, okay, whoa, all right, let's reassess a little bit.
Yeah. Scheme wise, you can see they're going to have to. The quick game's going to have to be there. The run game's going to have to be there. The only way you're going to fix any of this stuff is to have a good, solid run game. And play action only comes off of a good, solid run game.
Yeah, and let's not exclude Anton Harrison. He has his issues today as well.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, because he was running back and forth with the ones and the twos, and he struggled a little bit. I mean, it was just disheartening because all this attention and effort that was put into free agency, bringing these guys in to upgrade the offensive line, and it was kind of like the same stuff that I saw last year.
Yeah,
which is depressing, to be quite honest with you.
And like I said, I don't want to make any.
And it's just the first day.
Yeah, I don't want to make any definitive claims. I don't want to put it in.
No, I don't either.
Or anything like that. And so I just want to see where it goes. I want to see how the offense develops and what new wrinkles they can use to make this a better football team, a more imposing set of weapons on the offensive side. And then the other side, look, last year, we liked what we saw from the secondary. It didn't pan out.
Yeah.
It did not pan out.
Well, it didn't pan out because they couldn't get a pass rush.
Yeah, well, yeah, both of them. Exactly.
So,
both of them
it's
added
difficult
up.
to blame that. I mean, I think the secondary clearly didn't play well.
Yeah.
But it's really difficult to play well when you cannot get a pass rush.
That's true. It is true. All right, so 641-1010. We'd like to hear from you today if you're heading out there tomorrow, what you're looking forward to seeing, because it is going to be an open practice for Jaguar fans that are able to go, eligible to go, all that stuff. And just hit us, 641-1010. You can jump in on the text line, Designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You can go to YouTube and pick up the chat there. But the bottom line is every team right now with mandatory minicamps that are going on, everyone's trying to figure out what do we have? What do we got? How do we look? How are we going to finish up this version or this portion of our summer before we send them off for 5 weeks, like you've been talking about, Leon? And then are we going to feel good about the work that they put in? Travis Hunter has been on both sides of the ball. He's active. We'll play a couple of sound bites from Liam Cohen coming up in just a bit about how he's picking stuff up really fast. And obviously he knows a little bit about what side of the ball offensively, what they're doing. So when he goes over to the defensive side, he can have a little more intel. It's not like he knows the exact play every single time, but formationally, he can get an idea of what's coming. But I like what I see from him on that side of the ball, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do, too. I was just concerned because, in OTAs, he spent the mass majority of his time in a wide receiver. And I said, you don't want to water him down. You want him to still be instinctive defensively.
Right.
So you want to make sure that he's getting some of that, is getting some of those drills with the defense. So, I mean, they've just got to be able to give him, the just due time in both areas. This is probably going to be a lot more difficult to learn the offense maybe than the defense. So he probably spend a little bit more time with the offense, with the route combinations and the bunch formations and all the other kind of stuff. I think more so on defense, cover 2, cover 3, cloud, all that kind of stuff. He knew all that stuff back in college.
Yeah.
It might be just versions of it that he has the wording of it and all that kind of stuff, but I'm sure he can handle that.
And especially if he's going up against guys that the game is so much faster, he has to instinctively, like you said, stay sharp and then turn and run and know exactly where to be and when. So we'll get into all that today. Comment off the text line about another one of the secondary players. We mentioned Monteric, Buster Brown, one of the only very few late-round draft picks that have actually developed and gotten better around here and has game experience in entering his prime, presumably a contract year. I won't disagree with that. Buster Brown is making himself a difficult cut. He's gone from one coach staff to another. Actually, this will be the third set of coaches on the defensive side for Monteric, because Buster was a rookie 2 seasons ago. And then they let go of the Caldwell-led staff. So we'll get into all that coming up. 641-1010. You guys jump in on the text line. Let us know what you're thinking. It is XL Primetime.
She's the gem of your ride home.
You've got something everybody wants. You've got talent, girl.
Lauren Brooks.
And I'm not just saying that.
On Helmets and Heels from noon to 2.
If you want to rock, you got to break the rules.
On 1010XL.
Where does Northeast Florida buy cars? Arlington Toyota. Why Arlington? Selection. Arlington has over 800 new and used vehicles all in one location with everyday low prices. Plus, right now you choose a pre-owned 2023 Camry, RAV4, Tacoma for $0 down and only $388 per month. Or how about no payments till January 2026? Shop in person on Atlantic Boulevard, just a quarter-mile east of 295, or online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com.
SportsForecaster.com has all the data you need to project tomorrow's winners. Register for free and track the performance of all your favorite players and teams, including all your fantasy team picks and prospects. Sports Forecaster has the most detailed player profiles on the web, precise depth charts, every transaction, every injury, every news update. No ranting or raving, no preening or barstool bluster. At SportsForecaster.com, you get the timely info you need for every game. SportsForecaster.com. Sign up for free today.
Jacksonville, you know a good defense wins games, and a good fence protects your home. Frank Frangie here. Coil Fencing has been around the block since 1927. Literally, they've probably fenced it too. From tough chain link to sleek aluminum fences your HOA will love, Coil is the name to trust. Nearly a century strong and still standing tall. Call Coil today. You can trust them. Call 904-356-4821 or visit coiljacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com.
Duck Duck Rooter is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When you need help with any plumbing, septic, or AC issue, just give us a call and relax. We'll send one of our first-round draft picks to tackle your problems today. DuckDuckRooter.com. That's DuckDuckRooter.com.
Spring is sprung, and so have the bugs. It's Hayes Carline and my friends at Kingfish Pest Control offer an exclusive $99 spring special. That's right, your initial pest control service is just $99. And if you call today, they'll include a free one-time mosquito treatment. Kingfish Pest Control is family-owned, 5-star rated with no binding contracts and 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Call them now to book your service. Only at Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Prosser here. Spring has sprung, and it's a great time to sell your house, but only if you have the very best on your side, and those very best are Chad and Sandy Newman. Spring selling season's here. Rates are down. Activity's up. It's the best time in years to sell your home, in fact, but there are homes sitting on the market. They don't have the right representation. That's where Chad and Sandy step in. Maybe you're worried your home needs repairs or updating and it won't sell for a good price. Maybe your family's growing and you need more space. Whatever the reason that you need to sell your home, Chad and Sandy deliver this promise to you. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Sounds pretty hassle-free to me. Take it from Mike and Rosemary in St. Augustine. We were determined to buy an affordable home in a specific school zone, but we didn't qualify for the loan needed to get one. Chad and Sandy's team worked with the lender, negotiated a higher qualification price, lower interest. It was huge, $200 less per month. Do it today. Call 414-6200 or go to chadandsandy.com.
One man, one hammer. One place to hear it drop. Hammer Time with Hayes, weekdays on The Frangie Show.
On 1010XL, driven by Kia on Atlantic. Southside Kia is now Kia on Atlantic.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental. With light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, 2 locations in Jacksonville.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. With the weather now hot as can be, look ahead and get that backyard ready for fall with a new open air or screened-in enclosure. Maximize the space you have and make it great with Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. They truly are the best in the business. So if you have the space and the idea, give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you.
Want your son or daughter to enjoy sports year-round? Then log on to i9sports.com with summer and fall registration open right now, including girls volleyball at Duval Charter Bay Meadows, plus plenty of other spots and sports on the First Coast. i9sports.com. Enter 1010 for a discount.
Pickett here with my concierge doctor, Richard Townsend. Doc T, how does a concierge direct primary care operate?
We are a membership-based primary care made directly between a patient and physician. We'll have a limited amount of patients that allows us to give unlimited access and personal service to you. This individualized approach has been shown to lower hospitalizations as well as maintain healthier lives. We also give 24/7 access via phone to me outside of our scheduled office hours.
To learn more, go to mypvconcierge.com.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just the job, but an experienced, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
No, I think he just had a little bit of just general soreness. You know, we threw a lot of balls kind of last week and really leading up into, you know, he feels good. He said it wasn't really an issue. It was more sometimes when you just have something to keep it warm, it just helps, you know, any type of thrower. So I think that was more just maintenance than it is anything that's really bothering him.
This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
That was Liam Cohen, your head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. That cut courtesy of Jaguars.com, talking about Trevor Lawrence. And I just want to highlight that, like, if I took the yellow highlighter, I would highlight general soreness, a lot of balls, sleeve to keep it warm, and maintenance. Okay, those are the things that I heard over everything else.
Of course, that's what you heard.
Yeah, that's exactly what I heard. And so, but honestly, a sleeve that Trevor had on his arm is now becoming a very popular talking point among Jaguar fans. Should you hit the panic button? I don't know, but
is that like tennis elbow?
It could be any number. We're going to ask Gio this tomorrow, but it could be any number of things. So basically, shoulder surgery end of last year.
Left shoulder.
Yeah, let's not forget that. Well, this was the right throwing shoulder because he had it in the left one before.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the first one.
The first one was labrum.
Right. This one was throwing.
Yeah, this is AC joint to repair. And actually, both of them may have been in the left shoulder, if I'm going back and thinking now. Both of them may have been on that side. So anyway, you're looking at a guy that there's a bunch of other quarterbacks that are not going to be on this football team that you really, well, I shouldn't say that. Shouldn't say it like that. They're not going to be on this football team making an impact necessarily. Nick Mullins,
They're camp arms.
Camp bodies.
Yeah. Johnny Wolford, I'm rooting for
Johnny
the
Wolford
Pride.
and Hannigan are camp arms. That's what they are.
Well, yeah, but Wolford's been able to at least make rosters.
Right. No, unless he like plays really well and beats out Mullen, But I'm saying that for the most part, the last two quarterbacks are typically camp arms, which you have them for this specific reason, so your starter doesn't get a tired arm.
Yeah, use them. That's what they're there for, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. And so just as far as install goes, Trevor may be doing a little more work than he normally is doing. And even though it's not the same shoulder that the AC joint repair was on, is that he's still out there and they're just trying to go slow with him. I don't know.
Pitch count? Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I'm okay with it.
Give him a little pitch count.
It does make you raise your eyebrow just a little bit. Like, especially if you're going into the 5 weeks. And we'll keep an eye on, I don't care if there's a sleeve on as long as he's out there doing work. But we'll keep an eye on whether he's throwing tomorrow and the next day.
Well, I definitely care about that. I definitely care about that.
Where do we assess this soreness coming? Is it from, could it be the injury or could it be that Trevor's never worked this hard before?
Well,
I don't think
that's the question.
So I don't know that it's worked that hard. I think he's throwing a lot of balls. I think that's what it is.
Okay, all right.
So, and it could be what Joe's talking about, where he's learning a new system. It could be because he wants to show everyone that, this is it. This is the season right here. Whatever it is, he's throwing too many balls. But my point is, you've got 2 extra quarterbacks in camp for that reason. Use them.
Yeah, well, if you for install, use them. But the other part is, how about this? This is crazy too. New footwork. And so now you're in a different position, perhaps.
Sure,
This would have been a good question for the quarterback whisperer that we'll ask probably next week or whatever. But that's another thing, is that is the foot, and the footwork looks pretty good. And one thing that I felt like, I don't know whether I'm making a big deal out of it or not, but it looks like he is moving quicker up the field into the pocket. Sometimes, and this is where you jump in, Leon, sometimes he would get caught standing back there with his drop a little too far in the backfield. What does that do? Makes it tough for a tackle to keep that, because sometimes you're trying to drive that rusher up the field, and boom, there was Trevor.
And I'm telling you another thing that's going to help the offensive line if he's doing it quicker, processing information.
Yeah.
I mean, in processing information a lot quicker and getting the ball like with the proper technique, that helps your offensive line as well.
Yeah.
So if he's doing that, I mean, we can only get better, I hope.
Yeah, you hope. But the footwork could have something to do with this. Don't know for sure. And like I said, I don't know whether this is another one that you would be either, hey, I'm going to keep that back of mind as far as what happens when he comes into training camp, and it's not just
there's all kind of stuff that, if you're talking about your mechanics changing, you're going to adjust to that with your arm. Your arm, however you threw the ball prior, it's going to be different now.
I do think
that's number one. Number two, learning the system is mental fatigue as well.
Yeah.
So that also plays on it. And I said this during the crossover with the Lays Heels. He looked a few plays like he was tired today. And he may be. He's throwing a lot of balls, both in OTA day and now the first OTAs and now the first day of minicamp. He may just be, look, I've thrown too much.
Yeah.
Which is, look, it happens to everyone. It's not just, this isn't just unique to him. No. So I don't know that I would panic, but I certainly would, if he has a sore arm, whether he says he's okay or not, I think I would kind of assess that a little bit if I was like the GM when I was a head coach, and I'd say, all right, what are we doing here? What does he look like here? When you're watching practice film, does he look like he's getting tired? That's all.
Yeah.
And if he is, just kind of pull back on his reps.
Yeah. And so he can go through, look, whatever you
tomorrow's a bad day to pull back on his reps when the fans 5,000 fans are going to be there. Right.
And I would think that, I don't know whether they're going to factor that in, but it has to at least be in the back of their mind a little bit. But yeah, the fans want to see him. They want to see everything that's coming their way as far as this new shiny toy. And they're probably going to be cautious, of course, which is smart. And the fans will get over it if they're trying to protect Trevor. That's the name of the game. But I don't know whether it's that point on the panic meter right now. Who knows? It's just a precaution.
I don't either, but I think there's a lot of stuff going into it more than just simply saying, well, he's got a tired arm. I think it's, I think he's doing a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
And I really do believe that the mental fatigue of the new install, that's draining, man. And mental fatigue eventually, Leon, am I not right here, becomes physical fatigue, does it not?
Yeah. But he got $55 million.
I know he does. I know he does. And I know you say that all the time. And I'm not making excuses for him because you guys all say I make excuses for him. I'm just saying that there's a reason that this could be happening. That's all.
Yeah. And the thing is that non-throwing shoulder It's still all part of your mechanics. You're using your whole body, of course.
Yeah.
And so with the footwork, which I do think we should not underplay, that's a big deal. Anyway, it could have an effect on him. If I could have that, JJ, if you don't mind.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Now, I don't want to make a big deal out of this, is just like I don't want to make a big deal out of the sleeve on the arm of Trevor, but.
Well, you've already done that.
I know that. I know we can't help it. Once it happens, it becomes, what? He's got a compression sleeve on? What? He's got fatigue and soreness? What? Everyone freaks out. One receiver on the receiving end of a Trevor Lawrence touchdown was none other than training camp Trammell. Okay? TCT. Okay? Out there doing work. All right? And I may have already locked on another one as far as a guy that I think could battle for training camp Trammell's spot on this roster. 13. I got my eye on Joyner. Now, I'm going to keep an eye on that cat and see whether or not he can make the play. But I had to find one. I'm not saying this is my guy until training camp starts. But you want to find those guys.
So that was your training camp Trammell?
Oh, yes, that's exactly what it was.
You've done away with training camp Trammell?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I wanted to let people know that he's out and he's active, okay? He's making plays. Be on the lookout for him tomorrow if you do go out there. That's the that I have right now. I'll come up with another one later.
All right. My guy I'm looking at is Darius Lassiter, the kid from BYU. 6'2", 210. He can run.
Yeah.
He made a couple nice grabs today, too.
And you're looking for those guys a little bit deeper down the depth chart. So let's do it coming up here in just a second, because we said we're going to go through the position groups, at least highlight one or two things in each of the position groups that jump out. And that's one when you're talking about the receiving core, trying to find out after BTJ and Travis and Diami, who else is there?
I saw Foster running with the twos at right guard. Mm-hmm. That was a little interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's bring that up as well. Yeah. It's coming up on XL Primetime. Patrick McCary, conversation with him coming up as well. It is XL Primetime.
Taking it to the bank every day of the year.
To the 5, into the end zone, touchdown.
Follow your home team on your home station. 1010XL.
You've got a lot on your plate. The last thing you need is car trouble. At Maxie's Mechanics, we help you keep your cars, trucks, and SUVs running safely. Visit MaxieAutoRepair.com today for honest service, reliable repairs, and peace of mind for you and your family.
This is Greg McGarity, President and CEO of the TaxSlayer Gator Bowl. I'm here to share that the Gator Bowl is actually a year-round organization. We're known for the TaxSlayer Gator Bowl football game, which has been a Jacksonville staple for more than 80 years. Off the football field, the Gator Bowl is also host to the annual Florida State baseball game, a champion of local youth through Gator Bowl charities, and a strong networking organization of local individuals and companies through our membership. We're actually looking to grow membership, which is an affordable, fun way for you to get involved and give back to our community. To learn more, visit GatorBowl.com for more information.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist is now offering ortho walk-in appointments. If you have an immediate need for orthopedic care, contact Southeast Orthopedic Specialist immediately. Avoid ERs and urgent care waiting rooms. For more information, go to se-ortho.com.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Mia here for my friends at Closets by Design. It's been a few months since they built my custom closet. Even my family is obsessed. And with Father's Day right around the corner, why not surprise Dad with his own custom garage workspace? Tool storage, workbenches, the whole works. Closets by Design creates custom solutions for every space, lifestyle, and budget. That includes Dad's. Call to schedule your free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off. Visit closetsbydesign.com.
Hi, I'm Karen, owner of Clay Solar Installation Partners, your local woman-owned solar company. Did you hear? JEA is raising rates again. With summer right around the corner, those power bills are only going to go up. But with solar, you can take control of energy costs and say goodbye to rising rates. At Clay Solar, we make switching easy and affordable. Stop paying more for power and own it. Visit claysolar.com to schedule a consultation today.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On June 10th, 1981, Pete Rose ties Stan Musial's NL record of 3,630 hits.
Watch the Stanley Cup Final at the brand new Front Runners Tap House inside the Community First Igloo. Specials include $1 wings and $3 drafts for the Stanley Cup Final at Front Runners Tap House.
Bueller, stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal. Pretty nice weather we're having, huh?
You think this is nice?
I mean, it's sunny, warm. We do live in Florida.
It's not all upside, Jason. Warm weather comes, so all the cool people hit the beach. My old air conditioner craps out, so it's 1,000 degrees inside, and I'm stuck on a video call in my underpants trying not to sweat through my...
Wait. Put these sunglasses on.
I'm not going to put on your...
Whoa. The air conditioning experts at Bueller Air and Plumbing can keep your home office cool and comfortable all summer long. You look good in your meeting, impress the big guy with your cool confidence, maybe finally make assistant deputy regional manager.
Wow, air conditioning can do that?
Life moves pretty fast. If you spend all summer worried the weather is going to be too nice, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Poker fans, ready to ride the waves and win big? Join us at Best Bet St. Augustine for the Summer Splash giveaway. Over $40,000 in prizes are up for grabs, including a 2025 Yamaha Wave Runner. Join us now through August 8th to earn entries into the big giveaways. Every hour of poker play and table game play earns you an entry. The more you play, the more chances to win. Come play and win big at Best Bet St. Augustine. Visit bestbetjacks.com for details. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Got a cracked windshield? Not only is it dangerous, but did you know it's also illegal? Call Baker Glass. Mack and his crew use the best auto glass in the market, and they accept most insurance. Plus, all new windshields come with a full warranty. From cars, to trucks, to RVs, you can count on Baker Glass to be fast and friendly. Just check out their Google reviews. Come see us at the shop on Casa Avenue, or we can come to you at your home or business.
I'm back with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
For a lot of us, saving up a down payment can be the biggest barrier to buying a home. So Rocket Mortgage is lowering down payments to 1% for eligible home buyers with One Plus. Because everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to get a head start on your starter home.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So I was joking a little bit earlier with training Camp Trammell because that was a that for me when he was on the receiving end of a score in red zone work. But C.J. Stroud is back throwing at practice, and he says his shoulder is fine. Now, that was a big story that was developing hot and heavy, about this time last week, right? Wasn't it about that? And he had not thrown during OTAs. He had basically gone DJ Lagway, and he was just sitting off to the side. He was going through the mental reps, so on and so forth, but throwing without any limitations in their first mini camp practice, D'Amico Ryans. Are you ready? Do you know what D'Amico said about CJ? What he was dealing with?
What's that?
General soreness.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's an epidemic, bro.
Yes, it is.
General soreness.
Yes, it is. And that's why he had been resting in previous sessions and no long-term concern.
We need to work on a vaccine.
We do.
Yeah, we do,
General
bro.
soreness.
Let's get in the lab.
I think they're already
I think the quarterback should wear a mask into the
And listen, who among us has not experienced general soreness?
Exactly.
Okay? Honestly.
My whole life.
Yeah. We all know what you're talking about.
Mentally and physically.
Yeah. Here's the diagnosis. General soreness. Check. All right.
Yeah.
So
what new, right?
Yeah. So let's hit the position groups because, like I said, if you guys are watching on YouTube, look at this bad boy. Okay. This is how big this is. This is the 2025 Jaguars roster. And on one side, you got all the offensive position groups. You got all the defensive position groups on one side. Alphabetical, numerical, you name it. We've got it. So let's hit it.
They might even be handing those things out tomorrow. I wouldn't doubt it to wear, right?
Yeah. I don't know whether the fans might get them, actually.
Yeah.
Fans might get them. All right. So Are we going to go worst to first just as far as position groups go? Because you've already named the offensive line. Are you guys already saying that that's
right now?
Yeah.
They're trending, yes, the worst.
Okay, so they're the worst.
They're
Okay.
the worst right now,
So give me another group, Leon. Go from the offensive line to the defensive line, since those are the ones that we talk about the most.
Mm-hmm.
You can stay on the offensive line for a minute if you want, but just give me a little intel on those.
Well, the offensive line is clearly the most concerning position going into training camp.
Mm-hmm.
What I saw I don't want to include Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker.
Yeah.
Into this group, into this grouping because they look pretty dynamic today in practice.
Okay,
they got pretty good. Still a little concerned about the depth interiorly.
Okay, I'm with you.
So some guys have got to step up. Mason Smith, Tyler Lacy, those type of guys. Jordan Jefferson. I mean, those guys are going to have pivotal. And Juwan Smoot, well, Smoot is actually a DM. But no, the interior of the defensive line.
And he's a guy that can swing inside.
He can swing inside.
Yeah,
Smoot.
Yeah, he's got. Yeah, he can from time just depending on
rush downs.
Yeah, exactly. Just depends on if it is a long down and distance and they're going to be able to turn him loose. But Mason Smith, he's already a big man. They so big they spell his name with 2 A's. They're going to make it a AAA pretty soon because he's got a big bubble on him.
He does.
But I just want to see if it turns into strength.
Right, I'm all right with big ass and big thighs if it's the good kind, where it's giving you that foundation.
Exactly.
Big asses and big thighs.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's already a tall cat. Okay, he's what?
He's 6'5". Yeah.
Oh no, he's 6'7". He's at least 6'7", and so he's already a big dude. He is as tall as they list him at 6'5", but I feel like he's bigger than that.
6'5", 6'7",
6'7", whatever it takes. Mr. Mom reference. But if he can get that leverage down low, then I'm okay.
Yeah, he looks in practice. He looks like a 1, but he's a 3.
He looks all of a 1.
He looks all of a 1.
Yeah,
right?
no doubt about it.
Just say he's supposed to be a 3.
Well,
the 3 is supposed to have the 3 technique. The 1's supposed to be the stuffer, the run stuff. The 3 technique is supposed to be the more athletic, fluent guy that can get to the passer and push the pocket, that kind of stuff.
Which is what Eric Armstead
absolutely
will be hopefully once again.
Yeah, absolutely. So he's got some work. I don't know if he's in shape or not. I'm just telling you from what I see from the outside looking in. He looks a little top heavy, and maybe he can work that weight down before the season starts.
A gut and bubble.
Again, I was all right with that. If he moves, and he's athletic still, I don't care what he weighs, honestly.
Okay. So stay on the D line. What else popped for you? Because
something outside of Trayvon Walker and Josh Hines Allen, there's still nothing there.
Well,
we'll see. We'll see if they can manufacture sacks, but I don't know how you go into a season hoping you're going to or the idea of we'll manufacture sacks.
What's Ogba look like?
He looks the part though, bro. He's a big dude. He looks the part.
Yeah, I'm going to hope
he physically looks the part.
Yes, he does.
I haven't seen him I have not seen him where I'm like, oh, whoa, okay, there's Ogba, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm hopefully going to be able to talk to him tomorrow or the next day. And he is a guy that comes in, obviously, with experience, with starting experience this last go-around down in Miami. And he...
You know what he looks like to me, honestly?
What?
He looks like Armstead looked last year on the edge. Where he looks like a physically impressive...
Yeah,
I'm serious, bro. He looks like a physically impressive guy. Armstead's a big dude, man.
Well, I know that, but I'm just talking about thick.
Yeah, Armstead's pretty thick.
No.
Anyway, my point is... And there's just wasn't anything there, man. And by the end of the season in the Colts game, I keep saying that there was one play, he didn't touch anyone on a play. Anyone. Armstead coming off the edge.
Matt's favorite play of the season.
Of the season. Not one guy didn't
his
touch.
favorite play.
He ran and chased the play and didn't touch one guy.
It is a contact sport, isn't it?
It's hard to do.
Bro, you have to work hard to not touch somebody.
Yeah.
On a play. In the
inside,
NFL.
he's gonna hopefully be affecting him.
Anyway, long story short, to me, right now, he kind of looks a little bit like Armstead last year.
Yeah. I
have faith in Armstead this year moving inside. Actually, I actually really do, because that's what he's played all along.
Yeah, exactly. That's where he shined.
So, listen, we're hoping from Hines Allen and Trayvon, we're hoping for what? 12 or more sacks apiece, right?
Something in that.
You can get like 25, that'd be great.
25. Yeah. So is there any other combination that could give us 10?
Okay, so I'm just going to rattle these guys off, all right?
Wait, real quick.
2.
We just agreed that if they could get 25 from the number 1 overall pick and a guy you're paying $170 million, we're asking for only 25 sacks.
I don't think that's a little amount. I really don't.
I think you can get more. I do.
I think it's easy to ask, hard to do.
Well, you've got Trayvon who's had back-to-back double-digit sack seasons, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He takes the next step. Why can't he go to 14?
It would be great if he does. I'm just saying.
And if your guy you're paying 172 could get to 15, 16, then you're at 30. That's a little different.
Yeah, I just want to see it 25 and up. I do think it's not unreasonable to ask.
Right. I think it should be over 25. I think is what it should be.
It's not unreasonable to ask for a dozen sacks from either one of them, or one of them to have 15, the other one to have 10. That type of stuff.
Yeah, it could be Trayvon having 19 sacks.
Yeah.
And Josh Hines-Allen having 12 or whatever. Fine.
So right now, you got a bunch of guys that are wearing defensive lineman numbers, okay? And so you have Josh Hines-Allen, you got Trayvon Walker. You have right now what you perceive to be Eric Armstead at the 3 position, and then I'm going to say Devon Hamilton at the 1 right now. And then you got these other guys. Miles Cole, what does he turn into? Dwan Smoot, how much does he have left in his tank? Eli Mostert's the guy that they brought in. We're going to find out what he does. Agba, I like what I've seen from Agba. I'm encouraged by what I see from him. And then you got a bunch of other guys. What is Tyler Lacey going to be? He's another guy that was drafted in the 4th round. What are we going back 2 drafts ago? And he needs to turn into something. And then you got a bunch of other guys. I even kind of caught myself watching, is it Kiwi Rose, number 97? That is a big human being. Huge. So we're going to find out whether or not he can get anything done.
Here's the thing. I'm
going to make a guess right now.
I'm not trying to run off Devon Hamilton because I think it'd be a great story if he came back and played the way he was 2 years ago in camp before he had the problem, the medical issue. But if you have a second-round pick, was the 46th overall, Mason Smith?
48th
overall.
So it's emblazoned in my brain.
48th overall pick, and he's not your starter on the interior, bro.
Well,
that's all kinds of bad right there.
Well, but let's just make this declaration right now. Okay, that was me. Okay, that was
I know
that was my mistake.
I get all of that. I
all
get
right?
it. I
Trent
get it.
Talkie here. That was my fault. All right.
So you're telling me if Talkie was still here, he'd be in? He'd be your starter? He penciled in?
I don't know. Just
because the man with the whistle around the neck would make it happen?
I just think we're basically saying he was not worthy of the 48th overall pick is what we're saying. Anybody else out of there that jumped for you? Because honestly, they do become a little faceless and nameless after that.
No one else.
There's not much there, man. That's the problem. That's another huge blind spot on this team.
Both
the edge
behind
the 2 starters,
and blocking.
Right, which is not good. You're talking about the lines of scrimmage there.
Yeah.
If your blind spots in the NFL are the lines of scrimmage, problem.
Yeah. All right, so let's get one group further back. Let's go to linebackers, Leon. And again, we're still talking about right now trying to figure out exactly what it's going to look like defensively, because Anthony Campanile, we're going to find out what his vision and version of a defense this year is going to be. But Devin Lloyd rocking the 0, Foye. You're looking at Ventrell Miller that's been coming in and out of there. Other guys that have definitely been able to show up. What did you think of the linebackers?
Well, I tell you what, Devin Lloyd looks like he's in shape. He looks like he slimmed down a lot. He's moving a lot more fluidly in practice. Absolutely get it done. I mean, those are your guys. You can't ask for much. Listen, Muma and Kaiser and those guys, they're more than likely going to be special teams guys. I don't even know if they're going to fit into the rotation. I mean, I think Ventrell Miller,
Ventrell Miller smart
dude. Yeah, he's pencils himself in as the outside linebacker, depending on if they run a 4-3 or 4-2-5.
I know this is strange, but that might be like the strongest group on the defense. Whereas before last year we were like, these linebackers, man. But Muma's lost weight. Ventrell Miller looks terrific. Kaiser looks really good. And it should come as no surprise that that's the position that Campanile coaches. That's what he's coached all his career as linebackers.
Right.
That's where in OTAs he was really like zeroing in on linebackers. By the way, Campanile's got some guns.
Yeah, he does.
He's got some guns.
Look, if they're going to open weight room,
he's throwing up some iron, man.
Yeah, he's in there.
But I like the fact that it's. I think if you're a Jaguars fan, if you're out there and you go to practice tomorrow and you see this, he's a linebackers coach, and the fact that the linebackers are probably the most polished part of the unit so far, that's got to tell you that at some point maybe that bleeds into the rest of the unit too.
Yeah,
the way he coaches, the way he develops, and the way he gets his assistants to coach, because that's what it's about. He's teaching his assistants the same thing as he's teaching the players.
All right, so let's at least look at those guys, trying to figure out how Devin Lloyd fits back in, how Foye, if he moves back to his natural position, is going to be asked to do everything he's been basically doing his whole career, and that's just run and knock people to the ground. Tackle, tackle, tackle is basically what he does, and then we'll see what the rest of them look like. You can obviously look at the linebackers, and you're going to be running with two backers most often. You really are. And so you're probably talking about Devin and Foye or some combination of Ventrell Miller fitting in there somewhere. And then where does a Jalen McLeod fit in, a Kaiser fit in, any of these other guys? All right, secondary, big search before we get to the offense in the 3 o'clock hour. What did you like? What did you see?
No, listen, I like Tyson Campbell. I mean, the variation between, we was talking about this, what was it? Tyson Campbell was a grown man. Yeah. When Travis Hunter was standing next to him, I didn't know if he was going to walk him like he was going to walk him to class or something like that. He was that much bigger than him. But Tyson Campbell was a grown man. We say he's the prototype cornerback. He just can't stay healthy. So if he can stay healthy, he's definitely going to be something to reckon with. Your boy Brown. He looked good.
I like Buster.
He looked Buster's going to, he's finding a way to hang around, be around.
Arrested development.
Yes.
Just like Buster on that show.
I don't know about. He's starting right now.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like you were saying, he's making it hard to cut. That dude's going out there game one right now.
Yeah, and I mean specifically the first.
You think?
No, I don't think that.
I don't think that.
Well, who else is going out there?
Travis.
Travis Hunter.
You think Travis is gonna? You think he's gonna start offense and defense with the ones in the first game?
We don't know, but all I'm saying is that what I'm basically saying is the first 2 years.
It's early. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I'm telling you, if Jarron Jones hasn't made a move in OTAs, he better get on his giddy up, man.
All right, but this is where we lose track of some of this.
No. I'm saying this because I think you saw what he had last year.
Yeah,
you saw what he did last year, right? All right. So he's now had how many OTAs? 10, 11? 10.
I don't remember what. Yeah,
and then one day, look, obviously camp is everything. I get all of that.
Yeah.
My point is that dude is not letting go of that job, Montero Brown. No way.
Yeah, but I'm not even. You see, you're giving it to him. I'm
not giving it to him. I'm saying it's going to be very hard for someone to take that job from
right,
him.
And that's
like when you said he's making it hard for them to cut them. I'm thinking, well, cut.
No. You're missing my point. The first 2 years on this football team, he made himself a very difficult cut.
Yes, no doubt.
He was just a butt-busting
football player.
Yeah, you're going to recognize and deal with me. And that's what he did. He was out there. He was feisty. He was making plays, forced into certain situations because of injury, and he made the most of it.
Won the Saints game for him.
Yeah, and he made a play in the end zone, even though the Vikings ended up winning that game. Well, actually, they needed to win that game to help the cause. But at the same time,
13 points you went on the road in the NFL.
Yeah, but Buster made some plays. And so I just feel like between those two, I'm certainly not penciling in one over the other right now. I just want to see what the competition looks like.
Yeah, we still didn't put it on the pads, bro.
No, I know that.
We'll see.
I just got a feeling about Buster.
You got a feeling?
Yeah, I do.
All right.
I do.
Listen, I've got training camp crushes.
He's gotten better year after year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You can tell he has, too.
Is he gotten better or Jaguar better?
No, I think he's gotten – That's a great question, Leon. That's a great question, but I think he's gotten better, yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Jordan Lewis, I like what I see. He spoke afterwards talking about him trying to lend leadership as much as he possibly can to the Joneses, the Brownses of the world, to try and give those guys a little more how to do it, how to survive, how to succeed, all that type of stuff. So I like him. And then there's definitely competition in that safety room, Leon. Definitely competition.
I saw Dewey out there. He was starting.
Yeah. And you had Antonio Johnson at times run with the one. And then they were moving back and forth. Darnell Savage, certainly back and forth. And all those guys are going to get an opportunity. Eric Murray, the guy they signed from Houston.
I haven't even noticed. Have they kept Caleb Renshaw at corner, or have they worked him at safety?
Safety more. And I honestly didn't see a whole lot of him today on the field. Just happened whenever I went from offense to defense. I just didn't see him in rotation as much as I wanted to. But no, they're looking at him at safety, even though I maintain, and I got crushed on X over this, man hadn't played safety. At either school, Troy or Tulane. But he is a big, fast guy. Coach Campo, who we missed today, but we'll talk to on Friday, he loves the idea of him moving back to that safety spot and playing around the line of scrimmage. So we'll see where it goes. All right, thanks to one of our texters, because I was saying I might zero in on 13. Dorian Singer is the guy that I was keeping. He came up with a couple of nice catches today, so we'll see how it goes. All right, so we'll talk a little bit more about the secondary coming up, and then also get on the offensive side into each of these position rooms as far as what we think this team is shaping up to be right here on XL Primetime.
Summer on the First Coast. The heat, the beach. 1010XL. Now that's hot. Get your radio on.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione. Campione Law.
Hey, Hickett here for my friends at Zero Res. Gang, vacuuming is not sufficient to maintain the cleanliness and lifespan of your carpet, period. Do not leave deep cleaning to yourself, but do-it-yourself dirt-attracting carpet soaking machines. No. Call on the cleaning freaks from Zero Res. Big summer savings. 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $129. Take 20% off air duct cleaning as well. Call them, 904-287-5727, and ask for the 1010XL special. Zero Res, spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
At IHRS, we're passionate about solving your hair loss. We're clients too. With the latest hair transplant technology, FDA-approved laser hair therapy, and PRP, we guarantee solutions for both men and women. Call now for a free consultation and receive $250 off. Hair restoration is for me, and it can be for you too. Go to hairforme.com or call 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477.
Jacksonville's building a playoff team in teal.
All right, we're going to play to win.
Follow 1010XL's coverage of organized team activities. Backed by Heroes Lawn Care and Hurricane Grill and Wings. Tune up the off-season with AA Automotive and 1010XL.
For a lot of us, saving up a down payment can be the biggest barrier to buying a home. So Rocket Mortgage is lowering down payments to 1% for eligible home buyers with One Plus. Because everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to get a head start on your starter home.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwood Jewelers. Clayton, you have told us about the importance of cutting a diamond properly and how it relates back to beauty and value. But how do you judge the color of a diamond?
Frank, that's an important question when it comes to diamonds. You see, a man or a woman really have no color memory. Now, you can remember basic colors like blue or red, but considering we can see thousands of slight variations of the same color, you have to have a master color to relate these two. Anybody that's ever tried to match a paint color on a wall knows exactly what I'm talking about. So we judge the color of diamonds using a set of certified master diamonds from the American Gem Society. This is the only way you can really make an accurate call on the grade because these slight variations in color from colorless to very slight yellow have huge price differences.
That's at Underwoods, where diamonds are graded accurately in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
They were right. It could have waited. I can't believe it happened to me. Reaching to check my phone. Now my family has to hear that I'm never coming home again.
Officer?
I'm so sorry. I have some very sad news to share with you.
Every day, 9 people on Florida roadways don't make it home. I was one of the people that didn't make it home.
Ride with Do Not Disturb. Every trip, every time. Let's get everyone home safely. A message from Florida Department of Transportation, Target Zero. For more information, visit targetzerofl.com.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
The 2025 season schedule has dropped, and single-game tickets are on sale now. Be at the bank to watch Travis Hunter, Trevor Lawrence, and the Jaguars take on the biggest names in the NFL. Don't miss your favorite matchup and secure your tickets now by visiting jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. See you this fall, Jags fans.
Yes, sir. That's the best decision. I love it.
Have you been diagnosed with moderate to severe opioid use disorder? You may qualify for a new clinical research study Dr. Ferdinand Formoso is now enrolling participants to evaluate the effectiveness of a non-opioid medication treatment option for OUD. Qualified participants will receive study-related care at no cost and may be eligible for reimbursement of travel and accommodations. To qualify, applicants must be 18 to 65 years old, have been diagnosed with moderate to severe opioid use disorder, and have not been on medication to treat opioid use in the last 3 months. The study lasts up to 22 weeks, with weekly visits during treatment. If you're ready to explore a new path forward, visit OUDstudy.com for more details and qualifications. Take the first steps and visit OUDstudy.com. That's OUDstudy.com. OUDstudy.com.
Plumbing problems? AC not blowing? Septic tank doing whatever septic tanks do? Don't call 3 different companies and play contractor roulette. Just call DuckDuckRooter. Waddle over to DuckDuckRooter.com. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, brought to you by Baker Glass. With a 6-1 win as the series gets welcome to South Florida, the Panthers made a statement in Game 3 that will leave the Oilers desperately searching for a way to turn things around. Just 56 seconds into last night's game, it was the Rat Brad Marchand who found the back of the net as the Panthers put their foot on the gas and never backed off. Marchand's goal marked his 4th of the series as he became the oldest player to score in each of the first 3 games of the Stanley Cup Final at 37. As time expired, the Oilers let emotion and frustrations get under their skin. The Panthers had 11 power play chances, and late in the third, Edmonton pulled some dirty plays that started an all-out brawl. With the Oilers in shambles after Game 3, the Panthers are 1 game closer. Last night's victory also marked head coach Paul Maurice's 1,000th career victory. It's 86 degrees at 3:02. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
3 o'clock hour is hit. Beautiful day out there. Hopefully everybody's enjoying it. If you're working, it's just trying to get it done. We appreciate it, that's for sure. There's everybody just slinging, trying to get whatever it is they do done in a timely fashion. And let me tell you something. Jacksonville works, okay? There's a lot of activity. You go down there and you see what's happening at that beautiful Four Seasons, and that I guess it's just going to be
that thing's just flying up, man.
Oh my gosh, it's massive. And the crane operators. I know Alex and some of those guys that are down there just moving metal and steel and everything else. So it's looking good. It's looking good, and we'll find out what will happen stadium wise and how everybody will be able to handle the lack of parking that's going to be around the
There's
stadium.
definitely some prep work going on in the stadium. No doubt about that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think they're working on the top half. We had Chad Johnson on a couple weeks ago talking about it. So fans will come out tomorrow. They'll see a little bit of that, that's for sure. And definitely kind of go, oh, wow, what's happening? And then, of course, the Jumbo Shrimp. They're doing work down there, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're getting it done. All right, so we've been talking Jags. We've been looking at these position units, talking about where we think this team can go. Anything left over from the secondary that we were talking about, we need to jump to the offensive side. And the running back room is definitely an interesting one, an interesting study, because I think not most people, but there's been chatter out there about what happens with Travis Etienne. Is he on the trade block? Is he losing his starting job to Tank Bigsby? Where does Bashal Tootin fit into this? LeCont Allen coming from the Qs. How is he going to factor in? Anyway, you saw a lot of that activity at that position. All those guys were active today, Big Sirs, and they were all involved. And I even saw first-team opportunities for guys that I didn't expect, which was good.
Oh, yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Tank was working with the one, so was Travis.
Yeah, all the rotation.
Yeah.
Listen, this could be a huge distraction for ATN, but I think he's handling it appropriately. All the buzz about moving him and all he can do is go out there
and ball
out. And whether we move him or he plays, I mean, it's going to be a huge bonus for us because he knows more than likely this may be his last hurrah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether we move him or at the end of the season, whatever. So I hope he has a stellar year, but it's going to be encompassed upon the offensive line to help him have a stellar year. Because I mean, if you don't run block and you have to, you're one dimensional in passing, you're going to struggle. So I just like the healthy competition. I mean, you know, when Tank came in here last year, I thought that was healthy competition for ATN. You know, now he fumbled. He didn't respond as well as I thought he should have. But if you got a nice little rotation of guys right there, it's always healthy for your team when you have those kind of spirited competitions.
And, you know, one of the keys is just seeing which of these guys could step forward. And Bashal Tutin's 40 time, if it is any indicator, is click or two faster than Tank. And Tank has already displayed some good maneuverability and toughness between the tackles. He's been able to jet off to some big runs, but they're looking for as many home runs out of that backfield as they could possibly get.
Well, that's what ETN is. ETN is a home run hitter.
He was, yes. But Bashal, they're at the very least going to look and see what he does bring to the table. And Allen out of the backfield catching the football. They're just trying to, again, create a passing game with those running backs to get bodies off of Trevor, which is what that has to happen. Now, the only way the running backs are going to succeed at all is if we have some line play. Okay, so let's hear from Patrick McCary, who was signed over from Baltimore and now is the Jacksonville Jaguars. So get to know this man a little bit more as he came off of the field, and I'm telling you, he was just dripping with sweat. But here's the conversation. Josie from XL Primetime, along with one of our 1010 XLers, but he's really employed by ESPN, Mike DeRocco. We're with Patrick McCary, and you're a former Baltimore Raven, now Jacksonville Jaguar. How are things going? You're sweating your fanny off here in the heat.
It's good. It's good to be out here. It's good to get to work. It is. It's hot here, man, but it's good. I'm happy to be here.
So compare this temperature, humidity, and just the conditions compared to Baltimore.
At this time right now, it's way more humid here. In Baltimore, we get like 2 or 3 weeks in the summer and August that gets pretty humid, pretty hot. But they say it's something you got to get used to around here, so that's what I'm trying to do.
All right, you did a lot of good things up there. We know that. It was a pretty sturdy offensive line. What do you guys need to do to come together and make sure that this is a sturdy starting five?
We got to buy into the process. You know, Coach Cohen has a great plan, has a great philosophy on offense. Sean Surratt's doing a great job. I think as a whole, we just got to buy into the system. We got to lean in on each other and build a team, build camaraderie, build a unit that works and fights for each other. So that's where we're at. That's why everyone's here, all of OTAs, to build that camaraderie, build that teamwork. And we're just getting started to get into camp and get that going.
So the head coach and GM have talked pretty much nonstop since they've been here about this has to be a mentally and physically tough team. Is that established by the offensive line? Are you guys the ones that have to really establish that?
Sure, yeah. I mean, I think everybody should take responsibility for that. But in my opinion, yeah, it's the offensive line is responsible for that. And we're the tone setters. We dictate how the offensive game is played and really how the game as a whole is played. Sure, we'll take that responsibility. And I think as a team, it's good that everyone takes that responsibility. But yes, the offensive line.
Can you do it now? I mean, not the physical part for sure, because you're not in full pads and going, but can you do the mental toughness?
For sure, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's OTAs, it's minicamp. We're not in camp yet, we're not in training camp, but we push ourselves out here. You know, we got to condition ourselves. We got to work on our technique and get better at things, and that's a mental fight, you know. So we are working on that, and I hope to just get better.
You didn't have anything to do with what happened the last couple of years, but one of the sayings that I had was they couldn't get a 3rd and 1, they couldn't stop a 3rd and 1. So that really goes back to what we're talking about here, establishing that front five. And how do you feel like game plan-wise, what Liam's going to do with the run game will help this team?
Like I said, I think we're so early on. We're getting into minicamp right now. I think the scheme, what we're doing, looks great, works great. Coach Cohen has a lot of success with it in the past, and this year we will have success with it too. But yeah, 3rd and 1, short yardage. That is the offensive line's mindset, to move the guys off the ball to get that first down, and that's what we got to do. We got to practice it. We got to work at it. We got to get in situations like that and just work on exploding off the ball. It's a mindset at that point.
You blocked for Lamar. How good was he, and how good do you think Trevor can be?
I think Trevor's a great quarterback. Like I said, we're so early, man. We're in minicamp. From what I've seen from Trevor picking up a whole new offense, which has way more on his plate than any of us do, trying to learn this new offense. But I think he's doing a hell of a job. He's really leading the offense. He's really leading the team. In the huddle, he has command of that huddle, and he's speaking through the play calls like a sentence, like he's just talking. And that's when you start to get that this quarterback is really understanding the offense and it's clicking for him, even as he's speaking. So that's what we're getting to, and I think he's great.
All right, I got to throw an ACC question in here. Do you know that the Cal Bears are part of the ACC?
I do know that.
Yeah. What do you think of that?
I don't think much of it. I've been out of college now for a little bit.
You keep up with them?
Not a whole lot, to be honest, no.
Okay, because I call the ACC the Any Coast Conference now that Cal and Stanford and all them are
I can see that, yeah. I mean, it's going to be, when I found out that they were going to the ACC, those travel trips on the weekend to North Carolina and Clemson and all those teams on the East Coast are going to be tough. That's going to be tough for a West Coast academically prideful school. I don't know how they're going to do that.
All right, last one. We have Leon Cersei, a former Pro Bowler, right tackle on our show, and he talks about how he would get free subs. That was his, let's call it NIL, back in the day at the University of Miami. You never had NIL. Did you get any? Well, what was your, little extra perk that you got? Can you remember?
We got $10 a day to eat on some restaurants on campus, and the prime one was Chipotle. We got $10 to Chipotle every day, and we ate that up. I love that cafeteria food. Man, when I was in college, we got our stipend check. Mine was $1,300 a month. And rent in Berkeley, in the Bay Area, I was living in a crackhead single bedroom apartment, and the rent was $2,600 a month.
Holy crap!
Imagine, right? So what do you do?
Yeah.
Can't do anything. There's FAFSA at the time where you had government aid to try and help you. But I went to college with my brother. We shared a room. I didn't have my own room until I went to the league. Think about that, right? In college, we didn't have that. So
that's unbelievable. Patrick McCary, we thank you, buddy.
I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Isn't that crazy?
First of all, there's old crackhead houses in Berkeley. All right, let's go and get that straight. No. Just stop it.
Have you been out there recently?
I'm just saying, just stop it. All right.
Have you been out there recently?
And $10 doesn't get you a bowl of Chipotle. Let me just put that out.
No, that doesn't either.
Absolutely.
And he went undrafted.
Bag of chips at Chipotle for $10 out there.
He went undrafted in 2019. So this is within the last decade, basically.
Yeah.
That those numbers were out there.
Bro, you need to get out to San Francisco because what he's saying is true.
I have no desire to go to Cali. I'm Floridian.
Hey, but listen, if you want to follow the ACC, you got to go out.
No, thank you. I'll be right here.
Like he was saying, the travel and so on. But just to go back to what he said about Jacksonville and what's happening here.
Well, he said the right things, especially when it comes to offensive line. It's got to be continuity. Everybody's got to trust the process. Got to trust what Liam Cohen is putting together offensively because he wants to establish the run game first and foremost. He wants the offensive line to be big and physical and smart and mentally tough and physically tough as well. And right now, they're mixing and matching guys. Okay, so you're seeing guys playing guard, tackle, and all the other kind of stuff. Now that's fine for now in minicamp. When we get closer to training camp, when we get closer to preseason games, the coaching staff is going to have an identity of who their best five are after they're doing all these experiments with guys here and there, whatever. And then you want to know that you have your best five, so now there can be some continuity going into the season. Yeah, but he's right that the offensive line is the tempo setter. And if you value being an offensive lineman, you don't want to be considered a finesse offensive line. You want to be considered a team that can get first downs when you need them, can run the ball effectively, and protect Trevor.
And D-Rock's question was mentally and physically tough, which is something you've been on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's been my pet peeve with this team all last year is that there are meltdowns in the fourth quarter. I'm talking about literally. Like Matt said, we can't get a 3rd and 1. We can't stop a freaking 3rd and 1. And you got to be able to establish the line of scrimmage in the fourth quarter when it counts, when the game's on the line, and too often this team has failed.
But can you flip that switch from year to year?
No.
Because you were saying all last year this is a finesse line.
It is a finesse.
So can you flip it?
They're flipping it with what they hope is at least new blood in there.
Well, what Liam is trying to do, I mean, he's not a zone premise run game. He is a more power-driven, lead-driven, counter-driven run game.
So by doing that, you're forcing them to.
You're forcing the offensive line to work double teams,
so
traps,
pulls. You can't flip it then.
Well, your scheme can work it, but you got to have the dogs up front. You got to have the furniture movers. You got to have the bouncers in the club throwing people up out of there.
Yeah.
If you ain't got that, then
still got trouble in River City.
The question is, do they have the big ass guys on that line?
You got lap dogs. If you either got pit bulls or lap dogs.
Yeah, trouble in River City if you can't. Because honestly, if that has to change, get it, stop it. Get it, stop it. Move the chains. Get them off the field.
Yeah, and here's another thing: you can't scheme toughness. I mean, you can run traps and leads and pulls and counters and all that but if you don't have the personnel, it doesn't matter. It does not matter.
I mean, McCary might be the only guy in that line that has waist down as like a solid individual.
Yeah, and he's what 305, something like that. But he can move, and he's going to have to take on big hosses. But that's the key. And like we said, he was blocking for Derrick Henry in Lamar, the Lamar show in a lot of ways. So, and he moved across that line. But he's going to have to lock it down on that right guard side.
Yeah. Well, let me just say this: Derrick Henry makes a lot of offensive lines look good.
True that.
Let me just say that.
That is
he was with the Titans his last year and ran for over 14.
I'm not liking what you're putting down.
I'm just saying
they were terrible.
I'm just telling you they were terrible. Yeah. And he still had 1450.
All right, it's XL Primetime. We'll keep going through these position groups. Wide receiver, one of our texters point out, name what that wide receiver room is going to be past Brian Thomas Jr. Fair question. We will do that coming up on XL Primetime.
It was April 2nd, 2007.
Stand by to go live.
0600.
3.
When the world first heard.
2. 1.
1010XL.
Execute.
Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Let's start with some cold, hard truth. Here's why Awake 180 Weight Loss is your road to freedom. It's fast, it's easy, it's safe. You're not shooting chemicals into your body every week. You're eating real food every single day. You're not listening to an overpriced celebrity tell you about a magical new food or asking you to count points or calories. You're just eating food and losing weight. It's that simple. You know what else you're doing while losing weight with Awake 180? Eliminating pain. Fitting into clothes you haven't worn in years, sleeping through the night, and waking up refreshed and energized and happy. I lost 40 pounds in 9 weeks on Awaken 180. Hacker lost more than 110 over the course of a year. It's a life-changing road to freedom, everyone. It doesn't matter what your goal weight is, Awaken 180 Weight Loss will get you there quickly and safely, a clear path to success without disappointment. Awaken 180 has changed my life. It will change yours too. Give them a call, 844-346-1800, or go online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnik Buick GMC is proud to be the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness. All part of Nimnik's Treating You Right guarantee. The most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer. Nobody but Nimnik. For 3 generations, Nimnik has been the place customers keep coming back to. They treat you right, and they give a bunch back to the community. Visit NimnikBuickGMC.com today to learn more or visit their showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
When you're experiencing sudden, unexpected dental pain, the last thing you want to hear is that your dentist can't see you until next week. That's why I'm so glad I found Harbor Dental Care. Whenever I call, they always find a way to see me within 24 hours, and they can usually fix whatever's wrong the same day. Plus, they have locations throughout Jacksonville, so no matter what side of town I'm on, I can always count on the same great care. If you want to find a dentist who believes in treating people right, learn more at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
Frank Frangie here for South State Bank. South State has helped our businesses and charity grow and thrive. Whether you're expanding your operations, managing cash flow, or planning for the future, South State Bank offers forward-thinking, tailored solutions to meet your unique business needs. With expert guidance and best-in-class service, South State is here to help you move your business forward. Visit southstatebank.com or stop by your local branch today. Let South State become your partner in taking your business to the next level. That's South State Bank, member FDIC.
The world's best golfers are there, giving everything they've got.
U.S. Open coverage is brought to you by
TopDressing.com. Follow the U.S. Open on 1010XL.
Okay, for this Cannons of Jacksonville commercial, we need an idea to really come out with a bang.
Like having a guy shot out of a cannon.
Nah, too messy. In fact, Cannons is known for all your towing needs.
So like my car won't start.
No. Towing products. Cannons does custom welding fabrication and installation of trailer hitches, goosenecks, tow bars, truck racks.
So you might say Cannons is my best shot at finding that inventory in stock?
Boom. You said it.
Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
Is your roof ready for hurricane season? When storms hit, you need more than just a roof. You need trust. Valor Roofing Company is veteran-owned and operated, serving all of Florida with integrity and quality craftsmanship. From minor repairs to full replacements, they'll treat your home like it's their own. Estimates are always free, and veterans receive a special discount on all roofing services. Visit ValorRoofingCo.com and protect your home with people who care. GAF Certified License CCC 1334864.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
Want a simple way to boost your company's image without a big renovation? A fresh paint job in your brand's colors can increase recognition up to 80%. At Performance Painting, we help companies stand out with clean, on-brand finishes that impress clients and energize employees. From color consultations to low-odor coatings that won't disrupt operations, we've got you covered. Visit performance-painting.com to schedule a friendly estimate. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting. Keeping kids active is a full-time job for parents. Look no further, though, than I-9 Sports, covering Duval, St. John's, and Clay to get your youngster in the game. Summer and fall registration open right now for flag football, soccer, t-ball, and basketball. Plus, girls volleyball at Duval Charter Bay Meadows. Fields and gyms all over the First Coast. And the best thing is, I-9 Sports offers sports year-round, so kids can always find something to do. i9sports.com. Enter 1010 in the promo code.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
XL Primetime, 22 minutes after the 3 o'clock hour. Big Leon Searcy Hurricane Hall of Famer. Matty Hayes, check out his stuff at USA Today, Sports Network. Joe C., along with JJ, hanging out, having a good time, coming off the field from the first day of mandatory minicamp. And Liam Cohn was quick to say that it didn't look that much different from any of the other OTAs because they basically have had almost full participation. That players have been there buying in to everything that's going on, which usually happens when you go through a coaching change and a general manager change. That's usually when you do show up, right? You want to catch people's eyes and let them know.
You want to be in the coach's good grace, especially if you were picked by the old regime. Yeah. If you're on the fence, you need to be there.
Yeah.
Well, so they're also running the same drills, honestly. Yeah. There's a couple different ones I saw. But for the most part, they're running the same stuff.
It's just they can call it something else, but it's just install. And I'm
fine with that. Repetition fundamentals, because this team wasn't too high on fundamentals last year, especially on defense.
And I want to see sharpness and energy and all that kind of stuff. But, yeah, there's not a whole hell of a lot different. All right, tight end position. That's really the only one that we haven't hit. And then we'll go back to what one of our texters said, that when they basically look at it and they feel like the wide receiver room is still a a big question mark, just simply because of you don't exactly know after BTJ what you have. I feel like De'Ami Brown's going to be a nice signing. I really do. I think he's cat quick. I think he can work. The way they set up scheme-wise, Travis Hunter may line up in the slot, but they're going to motion him. They're going to get him on the edge. De'Ami Brown can work the middle of the field. But you agree, disagree?
Yeah, I agree with you. But BTJ is a grown-ass man, though.
Mm-hmm.
He grown. I
Best
mean,
player on the team.
He is. I mean, he's a legit number one. De'Ami Brown, I mean, if he can give us a little something, and then you work in Travis Hunter, wherever you're going to work him at, and, you know, he could give us some production. But we got a grown man. We got a legit number one in the wide receiver room, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to think that way. I'd like to feel that way about De'Ami Brown. I'm not there yet. And I think that's what kind of gives me a little pause is, you know, after BTJ and after Travis Hunter, who admittedly is still a little raw as a receiver, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
so after those two, you've got De'Ami Brown, who's on a one-year deal.
Yeah.
You got Parker Washington, who quite frankly hasn't looked that good in OTAs or the first day of minicamp, has he?
Turf Monster got to him on one big play today. That's for sure.
Hasn't, like, he stood out last year. Last year he looked really good, like he had made a jump. And I don't know that they used him enough last year until it, you know, got to the point where they had to use him because they had injuries. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know about receiver. I don't know. I think it's possibly, yes, De'Ami Brown could be a guy that could be a great third option. And if Travis Hunter is a guy that adjusts quickly to the league, because again, you're talking about a guy who was a raw receiver in college, a ton of talent, okay? A ton of talent. But he's not running routes against NFL corners, man.
No.
It's a different deal.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to learn and adjust. And how quickly does he learn and adjust?
Yeah.
You know? And what if he doesn't adjust as quickly and De'Ami Brown isn't the kind of guy you think he could be? Then you just bracket BTJ, then what do you got?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then what are you leaving Trevor Lawrence with at that point?
Let's not forget, that's what they did last year, and he still got off. So if he can keep doing that and grow as that guy, then other guys are.
Well, here's the thing: as gifted as Travis Hunter is, I mean, he's not going up against his peers anymore. He's going up against grown men. All right, now grown men who watch film and pick up tendencies. Okay, they're going to watch film on. They get a couple of games in or whatever. They're going to pick up on tendencies. And he may not even know he's doing that kind of stuff, but that's what professionals do. They watch, they break down. Okay, when he's in this and that, this kind of route he runs. This, so I mean, he's going to
get hit.
He's going to have to learn on the fly too. He's going to learn on the fly.
Yeah,
I hate to say that, but he's going to get hit too.
Of course, the rules favor receivers more now than they ever have.
They do, absolutely.
But he still is going to. Someone's going to meet him in a moment in a route, and they're going to wake him and shake him.
Yeah, he got his bell. He got his bell rung a couple times last year at Colorado. He did.
Yeah, we're talking about phone booth kind of stuff. He's talking about he's going to have many fights in the phone booth against somebody.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I always try and describe him as saying he's kind of like Devontae Smith, like skinny strong as a receiver, and skinny strong like Sauce Gardner as a cornerback. Well, both of those guys have wear and tear on their body. Both of them have suffered injuries, and he's going to be either asked or wants to do both of them.
Both those jobs, right?
Yeah,
right.
Which means that much more wear and tear. Now, Liam did joke where he said, JJ, I don't know if you can play the first part of this one piece on Travis Hunter, but let me know if you have it. But he basically says, I saw some muscles on him. And so he's been getting in the weight room. Yeah, just play this little clip right here.
You know, both physically and mentally, there's been some growth. You know, I saw some muscles coming out of his arms, and, you know, he's done a great job, you know, and like I said, in the weight room with the, conditioning. He's doing multiple meetings a day. You know, I'd have to go back and watch the tape and see how he actually performed. But as you know, like on defense as a DB, usually if they're not calling your name, it's typically a good thing. So I'll have to go back and watch, but I think he's done a nice job in terms of communicating with the guys. He has a little bit of a benefit of knowing some of our plays in some ways, but I don't think that's made any changes. But maybe like formationally, he can anticipate maybe a little bit more, but he's also a little bit behind, obviously, from a terminology and defensive communication. I thought he did a good job, and he integrates himself so well with those guys no matter what. So I think he's had some progress for sure.
Oh, yeah, he's going to put on some weight room weight. Of course he is. I mean, you spend enough time in that weight room, you eat, you run and all that kind of stuff, you're going to get your body in some shape. He's going to need, he's going to need a little mass to take on. It's going to be blunt. Some of the hits he's going to take, or some of the hits he's going to have to take on wide receivers, bigger, stronger, faster wide receivers. So, I mean, that's just a natural process. As far as he's a smart kid, all right? He's a 4.0 kid, so him going back and forth to class, offensive, defense, I'm sure he can decipher and all the other kind of stuff. It's just a matter of picking up the terminology, the wording, and all that other kind of stuff as far as on the offensive side and defense side of the ball.
So let me ask you this: how much more good weight can he put on in the next 5 weeks in between now and the start of camp?
Well, it's hot out there, bro. So
it's gonna be tough.
It's gonna be tough. I mean, because when you put the pads on, bro, you're gonna have to eat to consume the amount of energy you're gonna be burning on the field, running and jumping and hitting all that kind of stuff.
5,000 calories.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it's gonna be tough, especially in Florida. I mean, I found ways to keep weight on, man.
You got to tell the story real quick, and then we'll get
which one?
The 50 pounds, which is just the best.
Oh, you talk. Oh, listen. You talking about when I got to Miami?
Yeah.
When I got to the Dolphins, I was
G-rated.
Yeah.
This is your last year, right?
My last year, I was going through a lot of stuff, emotionally, personally, and I signed with the Dolphins. And my old weightlifting coach named Brad Roll, he was the Miami Dolphins weightlifting coach, but he was also my weightlifting coach when I was at Miami.
Okay.
So I came down to Miami, and I got on the scale, and he was like, "Holy, you know what?" He's like, "You are a fat, you know what?" He said, "You got to lose some weight before camp." So I was like, "I know, man. I'm out of shape. I'm going through a lot, coach, all right? I'm going through a lot of emotional stuff, distress. Put on the weight, So he trained me. He left the weight room. He made me get up on the weekends and come train on Saturdays, Sundays. He ran me. We lifted, whatever. So by the time camp rolled around, I was 302.
You were?
I was three.
What were you?
Huh?
What were you? How much did you weigh when you first got there?
365.
365.
And I got down to 302. So the Miami Dolphins gave me...
You didn't want to say it.
No, I didn't want to say it. So the Miami Dolphins gave me this award, the most outstanding offseason, whatever guy. And that's when Dave Warnstead was the head coach. Mm-hmm. And Dave Warnstead was the defensive coordinator at Miami when I was there. Right. So he's about to give me an award, give me a nice little check or whatever. And he's like, "Well, this ain't the first check. This ain't the first envelope that you've gotten from Miami." I was like, "Coach, what you trying to say?"
Why you got to do you like that?
I do you like that, right? Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's why. So when you got hurt, then that's why you were so upset, because number one, you knew it was in it, but number two, you put a lot into getting ready for this.
Absolutely, man. I put a lot into, for my comeback.
Yeah, making that one last run.
One last run, man. And then when I got hurt. I was going to make the team. I got hurt the last preseason game in warm-ups.
Oh.
And they told you, you're going to be a backup, but you weren't going to be a backup, right?
Well, at that particular point, they had me a backup guard.
Right.
They didn't want me to play my position at right tackle because they had a young guy, inspiring guy. They didn't want me to put any pressure on him.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they told me. If it's a lie, they said it.
All right, a real quick that, JJ, if you don't mind.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right, you guys may have to jump in on this one, but Stefan has spoken, and Diggs chimed in.
It's phenomenal
on the yacht and the things that were going on the yacht. This is Mike Reese from ESPN, and he's the one basically that got to Diggs. Diggs puts the quote out. And this is about the video where he's dancing and talking with these girls, and he pulls out of his pocket a
bath salt,
good old-fashioned Ziploc of pink powder, or
bath salt,
maybe bath salts, right? You never know.
Allegedly.
You never know. And you didn't see anybody sample it right there. You just did not. But you saw him show it, and they went, ooh, and all that kind of stuff. So here's this quote. "I want to be as candid with you as possible, but I kind of have a thing where I don't talk about my personal life with people I don't know personally." I'm going to pause here and say, that's deep as hell. Let me keep going. He finishes, "I had a conversation with Vrabel, obviously, and I'll echo everything he said, hoping everybody is making good decisions. And I had a conversation with people in the building as well. So everything else is everything else."
That's the best line of all. So everything else is everything else.
Yeah. And
the particulars are all internal.
Yeah.
The particulars are all internal.
Yeah.
What was in the bag?
Yeah. Well, see, that's the reason
What's
why.
in the box?
That's the reason why when you have little ventures, I'm going to say,
yeah,
you have a bag and you tell everyone to put their phone in the bag. No, I'm not vindicating this.
Yeah.
I'm not in any way vindicating, but I'm just saying if you want privacy, then everybody got a phone, you put it away.
Yeah, well, everybody saw what they saw, and so we'll see whether anything else comes out of it. But it was definitely interesting when he said, so everything else is everything else. And then he says, I try and keep my personal life with people I know personally. Okay, all right, that makes sense.
And good luck with that.
Deep. I'm expecting Brad Pitt to scream, "What's in the box?" here at some point.
Oh yeah. From 7, great movie.
It's XL Primetime.
There are many ways to experience 1010XL.
The key to this whole thing is their computer.
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
Get me that computer program. Yes, sir.
At 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnick Chevrolet is proud to be a 7-time Chevrolet Dealer of the Year recipient, the only dealership in Northeast Florida to ever win this prestigious award, earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness. All part of Nimnick's Treating You Right guarantee. Visit nimnickchevy.com to learn more. For 3 generations, Nimnick has been the place customers keep coming back to. They treat you right. Where do you go? The answer is simple. Nobody but Nimnick. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Firehouse Subs has fries. Your hometown hero since '94 just cranked up the heat. Hot subs, crispy fries, golden, pillowy on the inside, and perfectly seasoned. Over 30 Jacksonville locations. Firehouse Subs, homegrown and now with fries.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. I always brag on what you guys have on-road and off-road. But Greg, tell everybody about what's happening on the water, because you got loads of opportunity.
We do. We've got lots of boats in stock. We got the Honda 19-foot Fisher Runabout. We've got the Coach pontoons, all of them with that legendary Honda motor and legendary Honda reliability, which you always want when you're out on the water.
You could be cruising along the Intercoastal or out on the ocean, but check it out. Facebook page ready for all of you to see, Cycles of Jacksonville, or their showroom on Atlantic near Regency.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On June 10th, 1981, Pete Rose ties Stan Musial's NL record of 3,630 hits.
There's certain places if you go in, they got what you're looking for, like Gate Convenience Stores and Colt Modelo's. That's the ticket. Or get on the craft side of things with something from Bolt City or Sweetwater. Hit the cooler at Gate, full of choices and all of them good.
Right now, they're on their way to disrupt your life, make you uncomfortable, and rob you. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. That's right. Summer heat and humidity are about to attack North Florida again. You know what to do. Call Mike Merritt. Mike Merritt's Heating and Air has a license to chill. When heat and humidity are attacking you, Mike Merritt provides a comfortable chill at a bargain price. Mike has been keeping North Florida comfortable for 30 years. Mike Merritt technicians are never paid commissions, meaning you'll never be pressured to buy something you don't need. And Mike Merritt knows cooling issues can arise anytime. They don't just happen during business hours. So Mike Merritt never charges overtime fees. When you need us, we're here for you. Remember, in the fight against heat and humidity, Mike Merritt has a license to chill. Visit merrittair.com. Florida license number CACO 50384.
New and pre-owned firearms are in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimber, Smith & Wesson, 6 Hour, Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Only at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Prosser here. It's a great time to sell your home, and I got just the people to sell it for you. Spring selling season is here. Rates are down, activity's up. Now's the best time in years to sell your home. Some homes are sitting on the market, though. Hiring an expert who can maximize your equity and minimize your hassle, that's the key. And I've been telling you who those experts are. Are you listening? I recommend Chad and Sandy Newman. Go to chadandsandy.com, the local real estate experts you can trust with the sale of your home. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. There are no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. So whatever problems you think you have, I've got you this promise. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. There you go. Simple as that. Christopher on Anastasia Island. My home was too big for my needs. I wanted someplace smaller and easier to manage. I got multiple offers and sold in 3 days with Chad and Sandy. You can too at chadandsandy.com or 904-414-6200.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Heareth my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Get it? With the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
The 2025 season schedule has dropped, and single-game tickets are on sale now. Be at the bank to watch Travis Hunter, Trevor Lawrence, and the Jaguars take on the biggest names in the NFL. Don't miss your favorite matchup and secure your tickets now by visiting jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. See you this fall, Jags fans.
Yes, sir. That's the best decision.
I love it. Hey, Hicken here for my friends at Zero Res. They want to help you clean your home or business. Big summer savings with 3 rooms clean starting at $129 and 20% off your air duct cleaning. Call them 904-287-5727 and ask for the 1010XL special.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
All right, my takeaway is that you know what, I was pretty excited about going to Minicamp today. You know, I mean, this time of the season, you know, it gets real. It gets real after training camp. I mean, after Minicamp, you got 5 weeks, and then next thing you know, we rolling, baby. Mm-hmm. We are rolling, and the season's right upon us. I was excited. I was excited to see Travis Hunter look polished as a DB. The defense got after it real good. I mean, Trayvon Walker and Hines Allen, they it was a lot of times when they rushed, they pulled up. They had beat their opponent so bad. Mm-hmm. I felt sorry for the offensive line. And I'm a little still concerned. They're still the number one concern for me with this team, and they disappointed me today. So it's just one day. Maybe they can learn from it. They watch the film, and then they can do their evaluations and come back tomorrow and redeem themselves. But I was still excited to be out there for minicamp.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. My takeaway is kind of I'm looking at the shoulder. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at the general discomfort. Or it wasn't discomfort. It was general
soreness.
Soreness.
Yes.
Who hasn't
because discomfort's a little. Discomfort.
Which is worse? I can't.
Well, I'll tell you why. Because discomfort is the word that a lot of the orthopedic surgeons use when they're getting ready to cut on you. Yeah. He's got a little discomfort. Well, ask Gio that.
Yeah.
When Gio uses the word discomfort, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the general soreness is probably not as impactful.
I try and play radio doctor from time to time, and like you mentioned tennis elbow earlier, Leon. You can have tendons that will get stretched out, or ligaments, or any. This was an AC joint that he did have the procedure on. Again, that was left shoulder. Mm-hmm. This is general soreness in his throwing shoulder. They're not necessarily related, but it could come from changing his throwing motion, which may have come from changing his footwork. Who the heck knows?
And it could be something as simple as that, which is fine. All I'm saying is that's just a little bit of a flag there, saying, okay, you know, I don't know if that means you pull off him a little bit, you back off just a little bit. You use your two camp arms more. Mm-hmm. But if your season is resting on this cat, I would kind of do everything I could to make sure that he's healthy.
Well, and I know that he's probably pressing to make sure he gets,
of course,
as much out of this time to get that offense drilled in. McCary said something which was kind of interesting. He can talk talking about Trevor, he can talk the offense. He doesn't sit there and try and remember the plays. He can boom, 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 and it's a language that he already understands, which he was very complimentary of Trevor in that respect, because you want him to pick up that offense as fast as possible and be able to have a command of it. And so that means your reps. That means putting in work. And so no panic button at all, but you just want to see him come into training camp time and be 100%, be firing, and not get because you've been around where they've had training camp arm and so on, where they do get overworked.
Yeah, they do. Well, I can tell Trevor this: the projections 20 years from now, everything surgical, still gonna be sore.
There's general soreness with you every day, right?
Sore, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Because you figure the procedures that you had to go through, that's for sure. It's tough. It really is, just to see where this team's going to go without seeing the pads, without seeing everything that you want to see competition-wise. And so that will come a little bit further on, and so it'll be pretty good. All right, so the U.S. Open is just 2 days away, and we'll get into it a little bit more tomorrow. And we know that Minicamp's top of mind for most of our listeners out there.
We got to have a lunch bet.
Yeah, we probably need to do our picks. Yeah, we probably need to do our picks tomorrow. And Coach Campo's flying back from I think the Dallas area today. So we won't spring it on him necessarily, but we will give him a little time to do his research and do a little homework and get ready for this bad boy. So I'm just going to ask this one question. If you fire up the ukulele, JJ, if you don't mind. I love it.
Let's go!
We saw our man Skoggs, he of Hawaii, yesterday at the Walk-Off Charities Classic. And Skoggs was out there fully supported.
Good. He and his bride May.
Looks good.
Yep.
He looks Hawaiian. Okay, that's for sure. And so with his stamp on the ukulele, let's go ahead and go from the Atlantic to the Pacific. Oh! With a delicious Mexican lager. Found in Baja, imported by surfers for those who live life anchors up. I will start this off, and I'm not going to make this the question, but you guys are not necessarily golf enthusiasts like I am. But you may be surprised when you hear the first part of this question. Who was the last U.S. Open winner at Oakmont, where it is going to be staged on Thursday? This is the easiest part of the question, but you may not remember it.
Tiger.
Nope.
At Oakmont?
Yeah, at Oakmont.
Koepka.
Nope, that's a good guess. I'm just going to cut you guys off right there, because there was a time when Koepka was battling the winner at Oakmont, who was Dustin Johnson, and those two guys were kind of ruling. They were kind of ruling the roost there for a while. Okay, remember that? And Dustin blew it the year before, and I think it was Aaron Hills. I can't quite remember, but anyway, he blew it. And the fans wanted DJ to win, and they were roughing up Koepka. I don't kind of remember that scene, but that just shows you how far off the radar Dustin Johnson
He's fallen off the map.
Yeah, because he was the last winner at Oakmont when the U.S. Open was staged there. So he joined an elite list of other winners at Oakmont that took the United States Open. Can you name them?
First-time winners.
Yeah, no. Winners at Oakmont that
of the
won
U.S. Open.
The U.S. Open.
Okay.
So we're talking a major, big names in the game. Can you remember anybody who won the U.S. Open at Oakmont? You'll never get it. Just throw one at me.
Jack.
There you go. That's all I wanted. You want to do another one?
Watson.
Nope. I love that, Leon, though. You've been paying attention to your golf. Okay.
Ernie
Watson,
Els.
a major title holder, but not there.
Ernie Els.
Huh?
Tiger Woods.
Ernie Els.
Oh,
It's unbelievable.
I'm calling BS
How many
on
more we
that,
got?
by the way.
What are you talking about BS on it? Why?
I just
How-
feel like
how
you
many more are
Googled
there?
that.
There's two more, and I'm
Did I Google
stunned.
anything, Leon?
No, you're not
There's
looking
two
at-
more?
Two more?
Yeah.
All right, hang on.
Google
Old
Glasses.
school. Old school.
Old school.
Payne Stewart.
Nope. He won his at Pinehurst, and I think trying to remember.
Sir
Nick Faldo?
We're going way back on these guys.
way back.
Chichi.
No, I don't think he won a U.S. Open.
No,
But anyway,
he
I'll give it to you.
Ben Hogan.
Ben Hogan and
Nice.
Sam Snead. And so we're talking old
So
school.
Leon and I got 3 of the 4, basically.
Yeah, I love
You
it.
said we'd never get him.
Well, you got 2 of the 4.
Leon got Ben Hogan.
Did you say
I said Ben Hogan.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. I am.
We got 3 to 4
of you guys, and slamming Sammy Snead, the other one. So impressive. If I would have included the embedded and shredded in the question, I know he would have gotten Sam Snead.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. CoolCatsJacks.com.
The coolest cats in town.
I was stunned that Matt Hayes pulled that out of his hat.
How about that?
You would have pulled Slam and Sammy out, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah. And don't forget Shooter McGavin at Oakmont in 89.
That's right. I forgot about
That's a
Shooter.
good point.
Yes.
We could have gone to the judges for that one. We could have. That would have been a yes. That would have been a perfecto. All right. So let's go from that U.S. Open talk, which I know you guys will be digging in on as well. But what did you think of today? I think most eyes were on 12 on defense, but what jumped for you?
Yeah, that was certainly the headliner, is seeing Travis Hunter playing corner and look good. But it was cool just to see the competition get ratcheted up, as you anticipated that it would. They kept score in numerous periods. Liam Cohen talked about afterwards wanting to, elevate the competition level for this 3-day mandatory minicamp, and I think they got that accomplished. So some good situational work, going off script more, so it wasn't so obvious to each side of the ball maybe what the other was doing. But yeah, I thought a good day work. They're still not overly crisp, but they don't have to be. We wouldn't necessarily expect that in June. But again, what I focus on with the new staff is how's the operation look, and so far the operation looks good. You're not seeing a lot of stoppages. You're not seeing a lot of, oh my God, why can't you guys figure this out? There have been a couple moments. I think there were a couple of blown assignments today defensively where Anthony Campanile got a little perturbed at what he was seeing. But offensively, the huddle, everything looks good. Getting the call in, everything operationally at the line of scrimmage looks good right now. So again, we don't know. Maybe they go into meetings and I'm sure there's mistakes, but at least it doesn't seem to be to a level where Liam Cohen is getting visibly frustrated with the tenor of the practice.
Yeah. I think what we're all looking for is just the flow and the ease of this offense and how it's all going to come together. And then obviously, we have defensive questions too. They didn't necessarily look like they were getting I guess in red zone, you guys basically thought defense was winning. Did you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would say so.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
Yeah. But again, I think it overall. I think the work has been good to this point, and again, the biggest thing is just that they're getting the work in that they're going to have, because Liam Cohen talked about it again today. Again, it's been 4 years since we've covered a mandatory minicamp, and with players, with veteran players, and you forget that they can. It's basically a training camp schedule. They're there all day today. Yeah. And so this is huge for these coaches to have these 3 days, and then obviously the players will go have their break as they should, for 5 or 6 weeks. But the coaches, for the most part, they may take a week here or there, but for the most of that 5 weeks, they're working, morning, noon, and night on this thing, and they're going to have so much data that they can pour over these, and not just these workouts that we're seeing, but just the whole day's work. How the retention is going in the classroom, things like that. So it's an exciting time. We'll certainly talk about that coming up on the Frangie Show. I had a chance to catch up with tight end Brenton Strange, so we'll play that interview. Really appreciate Brenton's time, and everybody seems very optimistic that this will be a breakout year for him. So if that happens, this offense, that's another layer that could really make this offense pretty special, or better than what we're used to seeing. So all that coming up on the Frangie Show. Yes.
Thank you, Hayes. All right, you got Hayes and Franz and JJ coming up. We'll be back at mandatory minicamp tomorrow. Is it a 2-towel day, Leon, or just a
just one? Just one.
One towel. Okay.
One towel.
And show up after the stretch.
Huh?
After the stretch.
Yeah. I got there too early.
All right, we're done. Big Sirs, Matty, Josie, and JJ. We will talk to you mañana. We hope to see some of you out there at minicamp. Shout us out if you're out there enjoying some football.